Hi, this is Joyce Pellino Crane. I am the news director at WestfordCAT, and I'm here today with Cait Kelly. She is a 2001 alumnus of Westford Academy, and she has just launched a new business called The Vintage Detective, but she is also a breast cancer survivor. At age 31, she was diagnosed. She's now 33, so it's been 2 years. Cait, welcome.
Thank you.
To our studio, and I would love to hear a little bit about your life story, what you've been through lately, and then tell us how your business was born out of that.
Sure.
So give us a little quick update about your career path from leaving Westford Academy, getting educated in fashion design, and then landing at LL Bean in Portland, Maine.
Correct.
So tell us, you were there for how many years?
Just under 10 years. Yep, I worked there as a designer, primarily on the women's wear, both in their core line, but also their signature line was really my heart and soul there.
Excellent. So you worked on the signature line, and that was for younger people?
Yes. Sorry, for anyone that's not familiar, LL Bean launched a collection in 2010 for the younger generation of LL Bean loyalists, and we gave them a younger fit and provided more wearing occasions that would be appealing to that market.
Wonderful. So then what happens? At some point you're diagnosed 2 years ago with breast cancer, and where did that take you?
Well, as you can imagine, that basically changed everything in my entire life. I went through all of the protocol that most women go through that have breast cancer, including double mastectomy with reconstruction, chemotherapy, and that left me feeling as though life was not as long as I thought it was when I was in my 20s. Which actually really inspired me to take a close look at what I was doing, how I was spending my time, and what I was really passionate about. And
you had a dream.
I've always really dreamed of starting my own company. I love fashion. I love being creative. And
so you started The Vintage Detective.
Exactly.
Which is an online boutique?
Yes, exactly.
VintageDetective.com.
Correct.
And you brought some clothes here today.
I did.
From your inventory.
Yes.
So, and you're going to talk about those in a few minutes. But for now, tell us a little bit more about the business itself and what your mission is with it.
Sure. So the idea with this business is it's primarily online. Every Thursday I drop a new collection, and what's kind of special about that is that these collections are curated to, I think about color palette, and I think about different wearing occasions and a balance of how many blouses I have, how many dresses I have, because I really want to offer a nice variety but a really balanced assortment that she can actually shop multiple items and mix and match like she would at a more upscale fashion boutique.
What is that term you use? Drop a new what?
Collection.
And tell us what that means.
What that means to me is every Thursday evening on my website, VintageDetective.com, I will release all of the items in the collection to be available to buy on the website. So rather than having a few items that I found and just throwing them up on the website whenever I find things, I have been collecting a lot of things and very purposely curating them into groups that she can shop the whole collection to create a whole head-to-toe look and mix and match in her wardrobe and just make it really easy to shop, because I think that's really how women nowadays like to shop. They want to see how they're going to wear it. I make sure I show everything on a model, and I'll style with pieces of clothing that aren't vintage to show people how do you wear this and feel modern. and not like you're an extra from a movie in the 70s.
Well, who's your target audience?
I believe my target audience is women starting around age 18 and up to 45.
Any particular size, though? Because I'm imagining that you're finding a one-of-a-kind garment out there. So are you catering to a size 10, for instance, or?
Well, it's an interesting question, because when I went into this and started really thinking about who my target market would be, and really being realistic, that thinking that most of the items I would find would be on the smaller side, because a lot of vintage clothing, the sizing is smaller than it at current U.S. sizes today. But interestingly enough, I currently have a pretty nice variety in sizes. I was really fortunate to get a very large lot of clothing that I've sorted through, and so I'm realizing that I can't really say that I'm just catering to a smaller woman, because I do feel there are things for a larger woman as well.
So without giving your secrets away, where do you get the clothes?
Well, that has snowballed into just a really organic process that's been working out really well. It started years ago. I've always collected vintage clothing. It's always been something I'm much more drawn to and interested in vintage clothing. I feel like these pieces have a bigger story to tell, and a lot of times the craftsmanship that went into clothing back in the day was superior to things that are mass produced today. And so I've always liked to incorporate vintage into my own wardrobe, and that started with hunting through thrift stores and flea markets or consignment stores or eBay. And I recently sort of hit the jackpot on eBay and bought this vintage lot that was literally 3 pallets that arrived at my home, because my office is in my home currently. And even though that was a little overwhelming, it's been such a blessing, because some of the pieces that were in that package are pretty amazing and in really nice condition, which is something that's very important to me. And is that I don't want to sell anything that I wouldn't wear myself. And when I feel like the person that I'm targeting wants to feel like she's wearing something clean and new, and even though she knows that it's been worn and that it has another story, that I want it to feel like it's hers. And so I personally am always put off by things with stains or holes, and that doesn't mean everything didn't have those things. So I work really hard to improve and repair what I can.
I understand. So what part of the country did the pallet come from? Was it
California?
Oh, California.
The most of what I paid was actually in shipping.
Are any of these pieces here from that pallet?
Yes,
do you want to show
all
us?
Of them. Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So this first dress is actually not from the palette, but it's a chiffon floral that is a really beautiful floral for autumn. I feel like transitioning into autumn, I love that it has these soft pastels that we're seeing a lot in the market, but then with much warmer autumnal colors, and it's a very floaty, bohemian feeling dress from the 70s. So this piece is one that was in the palette that I got recently. It is 100% silk, oversized blouse that has a really neat print on it. They're all little fashion magazines that say Vogue in Paris and have fashion models on them.
I see London collections, and so, but I mean the design of the blouse, but the blouse itself is from when?
I'm saying it's from the 1980s.
Yeah, that goes perfectly.
The layering, the
and
long
what size
layering.
is it? It's a large.
It's a large, and what's interesting is I have quite a few blouses that are larges, but I'm also calling oversized, just because we're seeing that as a trend in the market. And so I don't want women to be put off that it's a size large, because I feel like I'm not a size large, but I would wear it.
Let's see. Why don't you Oh, you have a jacket on, but would you roll up the sleeves? I mean,
Yeah,
if you put
yeah. So I would wear this with
if
a
you put it
skinny
on?
jean and roll up the sleeves.
and maybe something underneath, like
Yeah.
a t-shirt or a camisole?
Yeah, I would either wear it just buttoned up with the top couple open and really just loose and easy, or you could wear it layered open with a camisole.
That would be really attractive. And finally, you have your piece de resistance.
Yes, the finale.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful black dress.
Yeah, let's start with the dress. So this is just a really great little black dress, basic, sleeveless, sweetheart neckline, and it has what you might probably won't see on camera is that it's a black lace overlay. So it gives it a nice texture and really has a more formal appeal to it.
And it's lined.
It's fully lined and it has it's sort of a shift dress fit. The back of it is a nice deep V, which is really flattering.
And it's as current today as it must have been when, in the 1990s?
I'm guessing this is an 80s piece also.
An 80s
yeah,
piece.
but I agree. I think it's very classic.
Yes, very classic.
But this piece is just really special. It's Jean-Paul Gaultier, who's a French designer, and this piece was made in Italy. And what's really special, one of the many things that's special about it, is it's a trompe-l'oeil effect, meaning that it has the illusion of looking like a sweater, and that's actually by the way that it's beaded.
This is made up of hundreds and hundreds of beads.
It's full, yeah, they're little plastic sequins. So there's colored sequins and there's some seed beads. What's interesting around the trim is they alternate between sequins and seed beads to make the look of a rib trim.
And these are really quality snaps as well. They're heavy and they're not like the ones that you see in today in the stores. They're
Exactly.
yeah, they're very functional. The name of the company is thevintagedetective.com. So check it out. And for everyone here at WestfordCAT, have a great day.